Greetings and salutations. I'm Ben, and welcome to the Sunday Night hanging right here on Sundays. Imagine that. If you're new, please subscribe. And if you're turning, welcome back. And tonight, this is going to be a fun one. The producer stepped up and he said, "Hey, you need to get Seth on." And I said, "Hey, why didn't I already?" So a fellow was hanging out at a Long McQuaid, looking at a beautiful Stratocaster-shaped object, and went, "Right. Hey, you want to do the show?" And immediately replies, "Yes." Actually, he said, "I'd be honored."
Within how many seconds? Within what? 15 seconds? 30 seconds?
Fastest booking I've ever done on the show.
At the
Guaranteed, because I know I've called out people in the chat before, Seth, and said, "Hey, do you want to come on the show next week?" But I know it's a 30-second delay in the chat. So it was perfect. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Charles.
No, dude, I appreciate it so much, man. Getting the text, I was like, wait, hold on. How does a dude with 73 subscribers get the hit? And it just shows that some people watch the videos that are not from the people that are putting out the big time stuff, and they're putting out little videos that are just something. So I appreciate you, dude.
Well, long story short, I like cool things. And if people are doing cool things, they're coming on my channel. Regardless if they've got 1 million subs or 1 sub, I don't care. If you're doing cool stuff, let's talk about it. And, we've been friends on social media for a while, and I see posts and I see videos, and I like that stuff. I like that stuff a lot. So, lives long overdue.
Thank you. I just simple stuff. Everything that you do, I do. That's why when I watch your videos, the pain of the lost screw on the yes, show us the pain, Ben. I have been there. But what I do is nothing. There are so many people out there in the guitar world doing bigger, more crazy things than what I do. But I found what I love in my ADD way of putting together cool looking hardtail strats and tellies and other basic things, and just making them play really good and sound really good and not cost $2,000.
Right. Exactly.
Done.
Let's see who we got. We got a bunch of people in the chat here. Let's see. We've got Richard Nagamitsu. We got Blackjack Guitar, who sent a lovely message to my dad, which thank you again. Paul McNary and the Cats. Ferd Burfel, my lovely sister Amanda. Michael Krause, some guy named Charles 75N that neither of us have ever heard of. No.
Who's that dude?
Oh, jealousy factor of 47.
Well, hey, come on down to the shop. You could play it for hours. We just put on the headphones in the back and just hang out. This is one that actually isn't for sale. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be in the shop, and hopefully tempt people to call up Charles and let and get, because this thing was dead. I'm telling you, Ben, this was in the corner of the shop, a beat dead Squire body that I was like, I got to get rid of that thing.
Yep, it's a hell of a lot better now. I will say that. Wow, we also got Ed DePriest in here, El Barge, Michael Krause, Dennis Ellis, Craig T. Tomlinson, Jeff K, Hippie J, unfucking believable, All Dave All Night, John DeShane, Terry 3Gs, what's up, buddy? Symmetry, so that's the co-host of Guitars, right there. Tom Raines, what else did I see in here? Hit Metalworks, Billy Baloney, Gary's in here, Jim's in here, Bo's in here, Doc's in here. What's up, Doc? Great videos this week. Awesome stuff. Cushman, Dan of New Jersey, Herb of Fireside Studio. Herb's got a new video out, folks. Just saying.
Fireside.
Tim Thomas, Doug Santinello, who lives in the Denver area. Tim Thomas, Graphite and Cigars. Good to see you, Ronnie. Papa Blue. And others rolling in. I'm going to the bottom. Let's see.
I've been thinking about going out there to Denver. Those dudes that do the Texas Toast.
Yeah.
They have a fantastic shop from what I can see. They are completely set up and super knowledgeable. Like they went to I think the owner of that place went to the same school that a colleague of mine from San Francisco Guitar Works went to. Mm-hmm. They come out of that. It's Roberto Ben Guitar College, right? And you come out of that place like ready to go.
Right.
You don't have to go through the years of, messing up. But I've been wanting to go out and do those classes. It's just got saving up the money and making the time,
I was supposed to go out and take a course myself, but unfortunately, I'm not traveling these days. So, but when I am traveling, I will be going taking the course. And who else did I see in here? For a second, Great Vanzini. Oh, apparently you're up to 75 subs now. By the way, just saying.
Whoa! I'm trying to keep it to the amount that I can fit everybody on 2 party buses.
Well, we might need a third bus. I'm just saying we may need a third bus.
You have to start, unsubscribing. I think my mom unsubscribes kind of frequently. She'll be on for a while and she's like, doesn't like the content. She's out of there. I don't blame her.
Yeah, well, I'm expecting, our friend Charles to be posting the link in the chat several times tonight. He's going to be shameless about it, which I encourage. Everyone should definitely check out Seth's channel because he does some really cool stuff. And when you were describing what you were doing, it hit me. The first thing that I went, yes, hardtail Strats, because I have a real soft spot for hardtail Strats. I've never owned one, but I really, really want to because Ronnie Wood swears by one.
I'm pretty sure we could probably make that happen because that's what I do. The reason is my dad played a hardtail Strat, and I was a acoustic playing, songwriting, emotional guy. And then he died. I got his Strat. I went home. I was all bummed. I plugged it into his tube amp, and I was like, whoa, I'm never going back. And so that was, I had played electrics before that, but that was about 8 years ago. And that was like the trigger where this is what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. And so all the stuff from childhood came back, and I started picking up the tools again, got a bench going again, and started building again. And and here we are. I'm not that deep, dude. I'm probably on guitar 50, right around there. If you go back and count all the things but that's 50 more than I was when I started. And I guess the only thing about my guitars is that like when they go through a factory, it's always somebody's first day.
Yep.
It's like, or their first, or their training. And it's like there's some part of that.
Yep.
Was somebody's first day. And it's never mine, really. Kind of, sometimes I act like it's my first day. But, and if I screw something up, I call it out in the ad and let you know.
Let's see here. I see Bozique's in here, and we got Elephant Foot Risers, who makes a quality product. Check them out, folks. New friend of the channel, and love working with great products. 76. My sister says, not that I'm counting, but I'm counting, so sub it up. 77. We might hit 100 tonight, is what I'm saying.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Well, then it's on. Hey, if anybody has any questions about what I do, like I'm here at the shop. I got some tools here I could show you. It's just something I've done for a long time since I was a kid. I kind of had a guitar store in my bedroom when I was about 15. I would buy the local kids' guitars. And, my mom didn't get me the right one for Christmas. And so I was like, I'll buy that from you for, $40 or whatever it was. And so I'd end up with 10 guitars in my bedroom. And then somebody would say, I want to start playing guitar. I say, really? Come over to my house. And that's where I started kind of the bug for just getting it and knowing I could get rid of it at some point, right? No gear that you have in your room behind you, and it's a lot of killer gear. None of that is like non-liquid.
Yeah.
It's like you decide, I think I want to get a Sir. Well, you're 2 amps and maybe a guitar away and a couple pedals, and boom, you'll get it, right? You just change your directions. Yeah.
Exactly. I see just pop. Andy Rex, the cams. Good to see you, Andy. Awesome. And awesome. Bo made the Water Buffalo meeting yesterday after I jumped off. Fair enough. Next one will be the 3rd Wednesday of the month, whenever that is. Possibly. I don't know. We'll look into that. I see somebody already bring up a calendar on his computer. Honest. See. 81. Just saying. Okay.
Whoa! We get so I think we should tell the general public, Ben, that I cannot afford more than 2 party buses. So
All right. I'll kick in the third. I'll supply the third.
Someone might have to ride in the Geo. If you're cool with that, we can keep going. But
Unbelievable's asking, what's the pink strat-shaped object behind you?
oh, okay. So that is a Bartolini single hardtail.
Ooh. Ooh.
So it's 3 single coils. I'd love to do the 1 volume, 1 tone. Yeah, you know that, guys, right? Get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just get it to what you need.
Yeah, I don't need to be hitting my thing with a pick. Look at that.
And that it's just got the spank of a Telly.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love the hardtails. Although these pickups are very low output, kind of vintagey, chimey, but you've got to let the amp do the work.
Yep.
And
that's what I love in Strat. I love super low output pickups in a Strat for some reason. That's my thing.
You can let the amp bloom the note. You can really let that let your amp do the work, right? Although I say that, but some of my favorite pickups, I have these Bartolinis that have a battery and a 10 decimal boost, and they are kind of unbelievable. I only have a few sets of those, so when they're gone. But yeah, the hardtail gives it the spank. What else about this guitar? What did I screw? I'm looking for what I screwed up so I can point it out. So I can. This one came together pretty good. I did the bone nut by hand.
Nice.
That's something that I learned at San Francisco Guitar Works, and I'm super thankful for the owner of that place, Jeff Luttrell. If you ever watch Music Nomad videos, he's the guy. He's just so good at what he does, and just by standing around him and working in the same shop. Of course, he taught me a lot as kind of his right-hand man, but boy, a few years around him and stuff like this that I thought was like way beyond me. I was like, I'll pay someone for that. Like I can kind of knock it out now. I'm so thankful for that. Yeah.
Nice. Apparently, Gary says 82 now, and I'll bring my truck, and then Ferd Burf will bring the Suburban. So we have vehicles for everybody. All the subscribers will have a seat, folks.
Yes. Hey, I'm here in California. My shop is open usually in the afternoons. I'm like by appointment only. My phone number's not hard to find. You call me. I come down here, and there's some amps and some comfy chairs where you sit back with the headphones, because I'm not in a place where I can really be super loud. So you do the headphone amps so you can feel the guitar. And, chances are you should probably take it home anyway.
Yep.
It's not like you can't bring it back. So,
this
one's super fun.
Elephant Foot Risers was asking if you wind your own pickups at all.
I don't. I buy my own pickups from a supplier because they're good at that. I'm just like, I'm really good at assembling. I'm good at like the easy stuff, the color choices that are going to be like the classic thing that someone would like. Anything I do is the same thing that you could do at home if you wanted to order all the parts and pieces. It's just, I did it 50 times already, so I kind of have it down, right? And also doing stuff like the headstock decal can be, take some time to get it right. I think we were talking a little bit earlier about how you can blow it, and then you better order 2 if you want to get 1 right.
That's why I don't deal with water slides, because I need to order a gross because I'm going through 143.
What I found was this: is you're probably just getting the wrong ones. When you get the one from the right supplier that is on the better paper and they spray it over, I thought that like I was terrible at it too, and then I paid the extra money for these guys, Rotho and Frost. They're in the UK, and if you're ordering, they'll do anything. They do custom slides. You can send them your graphic and all that, but I just order I tend to go with basic stuff. Order a font that they have, bang it out, send me a stack of them. And they aren't inexpensive, but they are worth the extra because you don't end up using 2 or 3 or 4.
Right.
So, yeah, man.
Hello to
I got
Stephen and Mason joining us.
Nice.
Awesome. Good crowd in here.
Bartolini pickups, dude. That's my jam lately.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Bartolini pickups, that's for sure. It looks like Graphite and Cigars made brownies in a cast iron. Okay. Cool. I have no problem with that. Let's see here. Oh, hang on. We got so late with that because I'm about to fall in love. Nice.
Those are Bartolini. They call them BAF instead of PAF because they were super creative with their naming. This is a like a hardtail telly style bridge, but it's basically a Les Paul with a volume, one tone, because that's how we do it. Yeah, this thing is super fun. Again, with the bone nut. And again, with the, end product in a hard shell tweed case, the teardrop style, the kind of little bit cool style that Nash comes in. This is all for usually, definitely under $2,000, usually under $1,500. And I'm trying to start a rotator program for local folks to where I'll have 10 on the wall, like you see behind me. That's kind of the starter of this, right? You buy one, it's $9.50, comes with the case. But whenever you want, you make an appointment and come down and swap from whatever's on the wall. Nice. And you're gonna give me $50 because a hair products.
Yeah.
I get it. But $50 will put new strings on it so I can clean it up, set it up, get it ready for the next person. But then you have a new guitar whenever you want, $50.
Nice.
You find the one you want. You already bought it. You already paid for it when you got the first one. So you find the one you want. You take it. You keep it forever. I don't care. When I die, you get the one that you have.
Sure. Andy racks the cams. This is a good question. Is it worth changing the pull pieces in single coil pickups that had ceramic magnet for alnical pull pieces oriented correctly, of course? I've thought about that. I would say no myself, only because I believe the windings correlate with the magnets being used.
So I don't think you would have to change a pole piece if it's gone bad. Usually you can re-energize the magnet with a live with like a rare whatever it is, the earth magnets, right?
Yep.
So if you've got a dead pole piece, probably number one, I would just bang out unless it's a super precious pickup, get rid of the pickup because you got one that's gone bad. You're probably gonna have two, right? So or fix that one. But I'm a person that's like, unless it's an expensive pickup, I'm just gonna pull it out and pop in a new one.
Let's see here. Now, Cushman, I'm going to rephrase your question because Cushman says, hey, Seth, can you plec a solid body guitar? Yes. I think he means a set neck guitar.
Absolutely. All day long. Yep. But there may get to a point with a set neck guitar, we've all seen it, where your bridge cannot go any further, right?
Yeah.
If you have a rosewood neck, you might be able to put your neck in a heat press and add or subtract relief, whatever's killing your bridge height, right? But if you've got a maple neck, maple board, you're kind of out of luck. You could maybe route into the body and drop the bridge down in. But yeah, we plec the neck through guitars all day, all the time. San Francisco Guitar Works, they run their plec. They have one up in Petaluma, and they can knock them out like, and there's actually one across the bay now in Oakland too, at the Wood Street Guitars. So yeah, there's a few plex nearby, and almost all my guitars that if I build it and it doesn't play clean on every note, then it needs a plec. I don't do it by hand. I'm not going to blow out my shoulder. I'm not going to do surgery. I'm an old man.
I hear you. That's right, Michael Cross. You can't shim a Gibson. Well, you can, but it's a real hassle. It's such a hassle.
Right. You're going to need a little bit of ungluing of the neck joint and all that. Yeah. That's what I love about Taylor acoustic guitars. If somebody's getting into acoustic and they want to have a mid-range price guitar that's going to last them like forever, the Taylors have the neck off and the shim situation. And I mean, I've seen guitars that were just toast, that were beach guitars with action that was a mile high. And we custom did, because the owner of Guitar Works is a genius and he could just do these shims that would bring these guitar back from the grave. It was amazing. Makes you feel like a hero, you know, when they pick it up and they're like, "You're so good." It was a shim that was good. I just put it in.
Yep. So. Exactly. Blackjack guitar, but you can break their headstocks. Well, you can do that. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever broken a Fender?
No.
Mm-mm.
I've never broken a Fender, period.
Right?
Like I've never, yeah. Then again, I've been actually, honestly, I've been really fortunate. I'm trying to think if I've ever actually had a failure in any of my guitars, period. Like, because generally, before a pickup might wear out, I would be replacing it because it's already sounding a little anemic maybe in my ear without knowing what exactly is up. But like I've done upgrades to guitars, but I've never actually had to. I'm trying to think. Did I actually ever?
I wired a guitar up once with a rail style humbucker.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like a dummy, somehow I didn't get the rail humbucker grounded properly. I did. And so whenever the customer would play, and because they wanted that humbucker up on the strings, right?
Right.
Because he's a shredder, he's really good. And he would, sometimes it would, like his pick attack, he would push the string down onto the actual bar of that rail, and it would get this click clacking of the cutting out because no ground. And that was one that I went round and round about, like, what the hell did I do? Because it looked like it was grounded, but you know what I needed at that point was a better soldering iron, and I got one.
Right. I do have a neck for the back bow. I guess that's the one thing, and it is a Fender, but it's a 71 Telly that's gone into back bow.
Oh, is it a maple board, maple neck?
No, rosewood fretboard, so it could do a heat press.
You could do a heat press. $250, I think. You know why they charge so much is because it takes a long time to get the aluminum. Well, you have to have the right size of aluminum thing, and then you have to heat it up, and it's just a back and forth checking on it a bunch. It's not like it's hard.
Fortunately, I do have a guy in Toronto that has a heat press. Looking at you, Dave.
Fender neck, you can send it out. Send it out to California. We'll knock it out for you, no problem.
That's an option as well.
Yep. Although rosewood, right? That's why I'm always worried about. I want to advertise for Canada because, you know, dude, I was a Nova Scotian. Like, I was up there in Halifax, so I'm like down. But I'm always worried about sending anything rosewood up there. Are they gonna like stop it and this? I don't know. I should just advertise up there. $150 to get a guitar up there, right?
Yep.
All right, maybe I'll do that when I get home. I'll think I'm gonna open up the floodgates. But please, we gotta tell people don't buy all my guitars because I'm trying to open up the shop. I only got like 16 guitars, right? And I can only build so fast. I can build like 2 a week. That's about it.
It's easy. Do a lot of browsing before you commit, folks, is what we're saying. Just browse. You know, that allows some lead time. Andy Rex, the cam says, hello, Seth. I like the workbench / presentation setup. All Fender type guitars. Would you build a destroyer?
Absolutely would. Totally. That is like the next phase, and I'm into it. Like, I think that for shimming reasons and longevity reasons, bolt-on SGs. I know it's kind of like sacrilege, right? People, because everybody's used to them being cheap.
No, I'm just thinking with an SG, could you use a lead neck shim so that way it might cut down on the neck dive a bit? You know,
right? No doubt.
Try to move the center of gravity back a bit.
But I love SGs. I got a ton of these killer Bartolini pickups that are just like so good. So I'm thinking some SGs or just, but I just am a Strat Telly guy. I just love it, right? They're easy, they're shiny. I put them together quick and I play them. And then the best part of my day, Ben, is when I leave this store and I decide what two are coming home with me.
Right.
You know? And usually it's the one that needs a little something. because the ones that play super killer, I'm like, all right, that one is like good. That one can go in a case.
Right.
Like, but the ones that I'm going to go and I'm going to figure out, like, what's the thing? What does it need next? Or what did I not quite hit the nail on? How many guitars do you think you got right now that are waiting for a little touch?
Probably half.
Right?
Just because of the time of year. I'm right in that transitional phase where, like, guitars I set up a couple weeks ago may need to set up again because we literally, we went over the horizon from well into spring, almost summer weather. So, but yeah, I'd say half. Because I've noticed that a couple of them, like, ooh, you're getting close. You're not quite unplayable, but you're getting there.
Dude, your setup videos, I just have to say, I really love them almost kind of the most because they are the reality of a setup, right? The reality of the setup is you can't find the thing or the other thing, or the reality of you're waiting for the pot. Everything comes except for the one part. Like right now, I got guitars that are done just waiting for this and that, you know?
Yep.
And I love that that's always added in. And I don't know why it helps me to unwind to see other people suffering the frustrations that I would suffer day in and day.
You can't edit all that out. Then you end up with a StewMac video, which, like, no,
right?
Because it's not a painless process. The whole point is I want to show what can go wrong so everybody else can avoid it or what have you.
You know, I think I've been too hypercritical of posting my own content because I do screw up, and then when I do, I kind of want to like, oh, I got to edit that out so I look like I know what I'm doing.
Well,
but the truth,
I think it'll be different because you do have a guitar company too, whereas me, I'm just a repair guy that, whereas, I guess it depends on, like, if you're dealing with a basket case, you can show all the things. Whereas if it's like, I'm building this for a customer, you might not want to show as much of that stuff. Other than
totally.
if it does happen, you're like, yes, folks, pay attention because this could zig this way at any time.
It's like the dentist. When you leave your guitar at the guitar shop, we were going to do a funny video about it, like for Halloween, because it's like a horror show for your guitar. Your guitar does not like to go to the guitar shop. Your guitar wants to go there once and get fixed, and then never, ever, ever have to go. Well, maybe go like once every one in a while to have its polish done. But like a Plex job, a fret job, all of that is like, the guitar. I'm kind of a hippie kind of guy, like an energy guy. Like, I would never work on your guitar pissed off, right? If I was at work and something went down or whatever, like you didn't punch your time card or whatever, and I was, somebody came down to me and I was pissed. I'm like, I got to take some minutes because what will happen is if I'm pissed and I'm going to work on your guitar, I'm transferring my pissed off energy into your guitar, and that's not cool. That's not what you paid for. So I have a motto. It's actually, you probably can't see it, but it's behind me. It's take a deep breath and walk away, and then come back when you're ready to like be stoked about that guitar, right? Because that's the one that's somebody's thing. And that's just always been my motto, dude. Don't work on them pissed off.
That's right. I had a Kramer build go like that once. Just saying.
Right?
Well, reaction from the green room. I was expecting reaction from the green room on that one. Elephant Foot Risers asks, how are the Bartolini hum canceling single coils? I've been using Evans pickups for years, but they're impossible to find. Have you used them at all?
I haven't used Evans at all, but I've used the Bartolinis, and just I've used like all these different pickups. I mean, working at San Francisco Guitar Works, I would install everybody's everything. The most expensive bare knuckles, every boutique variety, really great Peg City, all these things that were no wax? There's tons out there that were just really good. Bartolini, if you did a little history on the guy himself, he was this dude that was kind of like a hippie that was spacey. He was friends with all these scientists in Livermore at this laboratory, at the Livermore laboratory where they do all this rocket science stuff. And so his golf club would be like, hey, how do you do this with the wavelengths? And how do you, you can't really see it up behind me. I've got a tool. Yeah, you can on my bench. This thing right here is just like a wavelength or something from his shop. I just got it but he was that hardcore. Like his mind was expanded perhaps by a little bit of help of some things. But
lifestyle
he was
choices.
on another level, you know?
Yep.
And so, dude, when you hear his pickups, you're like, oh my God, like he did have some crazy help. Like the clarity is, I guess I could talk about him all day, but like the situation now wouldn't really do him justice.
I get it. What's up, Christian and Daryl and Fruitcake? Good to see all of you. Jeff K asks, would you ever make a NorCal in a relic?
Absolutely. I have a couple of bodies that are ready to come into a relic, and I'm going to be building a small paint booth to do some nitro paint jobs. Like, have you seen the Friedman guitars?
Yep.
They are the chef's kiss, right? They are just. And so, yes, that I put my hands on those quite a bit. I set up a lot of them for this guy, Mark, who's a great client of Guitar Works and has just the best Friedman guitar collection. So by looking at those and holding them, I can do those, but I just need to set myself up. Right now, I'm getting really good bodies from a supplier that allows me to offer what no one else is really doing out there. I mean, really, that's one guy doing for the most part right around $1,000. You know, a little bit over that with some of the stuff. When I have Bartolinis in there, that the pickups are like $200 each.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna be a little bit more, right? But I typically just do parts cost plus a set amount for my build time because it's usually about the same, and then the case I give is $150 costs me that. So
sure. Unbelievable asks Seth's thoughts on Vega trims.
Ooh, do it. Spend the money. Do it. They are worth it. They are easy to install. They take a little bit of dialing to set that, you know, the action right and all that. But once you got them set, they're super sweet. But they're more expensive than, you know, you can buy a guitar for the price.
Right.
Of a Vega. I don't do a lot of builds with tons of expensive parts, really, because I'm trying to hit this. But the customers that I've done Vega trim builds for provided the Vega trim, and that's how we did it. I've done 2 or 3 of them. So good.
Well, it's funny. Unbelievable. Did you miss the beginning of the show? I mentioned that because he asked, will Seth do a collab with Dr. Fabric Top?
What? Will I? Oh, man. Here, let me show it off again.
Yeah, we'll show it off again. And here's Trev's pizza before going in the oven. There you go, folks. And yes, look at that telly.
Ooh. I mean, people need to just know how trashed this guitar was. It was in the corner of a workshop that had been kicked and banged and bruised. I went with the Les Paul style just to make it, you know, a little bit manly.
I have no problem with that.
Look at that gloss. Super beautiful, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then he, of course, did the headstock for me. I did a bone nut on this one too.
Nice.
It's a Squire body and neck, but it's really good. It's a really good guitar. This
What's up,
one
Eddie
comes
Van
on
Hassel?
a couple times a week. At least once a week. Because I'm not selling this one. I decided. So.
Herb says Charles loves to wet sand. Yep. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. If you want to get a guitar from Charles, if you had a guitar that had sentimental value, right, or that you needed to be that guitar, send him that one. But if you just want a cloth top, he can get a body that's not that has no finish on it. That's much easier for him to do the cloth top, and it'll save him time and it'll save you some money when you order it, because he's super cool and won't, you know, he'll just cut off the time that he would normally spend stripping that body. So, which is super
Yeah.
cool.
And as a follow-up, Unbelievable says, so I need to get a body to send to Charles and then to Seth. Exactly. That's how it works.
It's a circle of life.
Yeah.
Right?
Charles does the foundation work, and then for all the lipstick and mascara, it goes to you for all the, yes, that's how it works.
We're in a good community here, and I want to share, right? You should get a body from a website called Guitar Fetish. Okay? But first thing you gotta do, lower your expectations a little bit, right? These are $100 bodies or probably $90 bodies. But they're not perfect, but they're not $500 warm-up bodies.
This is
that
true.
If anything goes wrong, suddenly you're in tears and you've lost a week's paycheck, right?
Yep.
Start there, right? Order the body there, send it. It can go actually straight to Charles, and then I say send it home to you, and you build it. You know, get your decal and put it on there. I sell plenty of guitar. I mean, I like people to visit the shop. I want people to buy my guitars, but I'm never like, I got another job. I teach high school kids for my real living. You know, I stopped working full time at the guitar store just because I was putting so much of my guitar energy into that job, you know, serving people's needs. I loved it and it was great, but I would be done at the end of the day and I didn't have the drive to do the Presleys as much.
Right.
And so you took an opportunity. I love working with kids. These are special education kids, which I kind of come from, you know, that level of high school education. So I'm perfect for it. So.
Hey, Nelson, good to see you. See Keith Campbell's in here.
How many people in the chat? I'm like so chat friends. Used to be.
We got 67 at the moment.
Hanging out. Oh my God. I'm so glad to be a part of the community.
And I think the last time I saw you, you're up to like 85 subs, apparently. That's
crazy. Dude, it's definitely going to need 2 party buses, the Geo Metro, and if my wife is like super stoked and wants to let us borrow the CRV.
Sweet.
Well, I had to drive the CRV tonight, Ben, because I couldn't count on the Geo Metro. If it ever broke down, it couldn't be on my night when I'm going to come and be on the show.
This is true.
So, you know, I have to step it up.
Thanks, Tony. Tony's digging the shirt. Yep, the Who. We like the Who. Josh Tamberg is here. Ben Tom is here. Yeah, Ben Tom does autistic support / learning support and emotional needs.
Oh, that's same thing. Same thing. That's awesome. Yeah, I had a smile from a kid who said to me, Mr. Pressley, do you think I'll ever meet Kevin Bacon? I was like, of course you're going to meet Kevin Bacon, dude. Are you kidding me? There's an 85% chance of you meeting Kevin Bacon in your lifetime. I don't know where I came up with that number, but that's just what I felt. You know?
Sure. Gary says in the chat, I have 2 one-piece pine bodies cooking / aging, now earmarked for Charles. Interesting.
Ooh. One-piece pine, that's really good.
Yeah.
I've got something here I could show you. I've been thinking.
Well, thank you, Terry, for putting the links in the chat as well. James Hawking, good to see you, my friend.
I've been thinking about resurrecting this from the junk pile.
Oh,
but it's got, I don't know if you can see it, it's got a broken at the headstock just beyond the R. When it arrived to me, it was snapped.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, it's an old Kramer. And it is when we're building some really good guitars and some of these that were not good Kramers. Oh my God! But it's fun, right? So I think I might resurrect it and like put good pickups in it and do something.
Nice.
What
My knees hurt. Lucky Sevens. I've never seen a Kramer like that before. I don't think, like with a burst strap body.
Model KS400. KS has got to be like for something in Korea, Korean song something 400.
Right.
Because I took the pick guard off, thinking, oh, these pickups, these might be good pickups in this thing. They are definitely not. Actually, they're terrible. They're like the most microphonic pickups you could get, which somebody might like. Somebody out there in the comments might say that those are great.
Yeah.
Are they?
It's cheaper than putting one of those infinite pickup things. No, just get microphonic pickups that go into feedback all the time. It's the same as an Ebo or anything like that.
Totally. It's like a Sustainiac without the battery.
Sustainiac, that's it. I was like, what's that
the
bane
Sustainiac,
pickup?
they were like the bane of, like, if you have a problem with the Sustainiac, it's like, take that and take your freaking 12-string acoustic elsewhere. I'll work on it, but it's not my favorite thing to do.
I like the idea of a 12-string acoustic. I just don't want the responsibility of a 12-string acoustic.
Cutting the nut, like if you're really going to do it right, and you're going to do every string on the nut, and you're going to make it perfect, which is what we do, you come and pay us for it. It's a tedious process, and by the time you're done with it, you're like, this is why I don't like 12 strings. I don't own 12 strings. You know what they make? A 12-string sounding pedal, I'm sure, right? Doesn't Lawrence make something killer for that?
Just use an octave up. That's all you need.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm a very basic tone guy. PV Classic 30 typically.
Now, an electric 12, I'm all over. I love electric 12s.
Oh, like a Rick?
Not so much a Rick. I'd want a 12-string hardtail Strat would be amazing.
Ooh.
They did do them briefly. They were briefly done.
Yeah. No, I've seen it. Yeah.
Because I'm 90. They had to be hardtails. I can't see them putting like 14 trim springs in it for that much tension. Otherwise, that bar would be so stiff to compensate for 12 strings.
It would be a hardtail anyway.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Just be slammed. Wow.
Yeah, I've wanted electric 12 forever. I'll probably end up going Gretsch just because they're the most readily available, at least in Canada.
Huh. Yeah, man. The hardtails are the way to go. Hardtails have the most spank. They've got like, I don't know, this one right here I built. This one I built a hardtail, right? And it's a Strat body, but you see the bridge?
Oh, a Telly bridge. I love it.
Telly bridge with a single hum. Mm-hmm. These are those hardcore Bartolinis, right?
Mm-hmm.
The humbucker, splittable.
That is slick.
It's a push-pull. I wish it was a push-push, but whatever. It's push-pull. And then the boost control right there for 10 decimal onboard, kick you in the teeth. If you have an amp, like seriously, it will boost the amp so much, it's very surprising. But you have a boost level control. So you can start with your boost level down very low, kick on the boost, and if you have a solo, bring it up progressively so that you can come out in front of the band in a live situation. All the stuff that any good sound man could do for you on your own, on their own. So, yeah.
What's up, Scott Brockway?
I played it so much that the little decal on the back of the neck, I actually played and wore it off.
Nice.
That's when you're getting a really tested guitar from the manufacturer.
That's right.
I could do another decal, but I mean, if you really want one.
Ooh, jealousy factor. Steven says he's got a 66 Hagstrom 12-string.
Oh.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, our friend Mooch, I thought he was doing a 12-string Hagstrom that he did all this crazy inlay work and all this stuff on that looked just amazing. But I never messed with the 12-string. I sold a 12-string electric at the start of my guitar journey. It was one of I told you I inherited that hardtail Strat, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the guitars I got was a Continental. You ever heard of those? Continental. Not
forever, but yes.
It was it Continental or a National? So anyway, it wasn't that cool. I didn't fall in love with it. I didn't want to play those 5 riffs. So I was like, it's getting out of here. Somebody bought it for $500 and I started flipping. I would buy a Strat on Craigslist. This is like 8 years ago. Tune it up, make it good, flip it and sell it on Craigslist back when there was a little bit of, you could buy a Craigslist one for $300, you know?
Yep.
I'd sell it for 5 and just did that 50 times before I ever thought of, why don't I just build my own and put Pressley on it? Because this seems silly that I'm just upgrading Fender, everything that they screwed up and like making it the way it should be. Why don't I just do, you know? And then I found somebody actually would buy a Pressley. That was exciting and kind of like, oh, wow, all right, put my name on it. Put that it's from California, that this dude that was a surfer, hang glider guy is now building your guitar. And somebody bought one, somebody bought 2, and now we're up to like 50.
Let's see here. I saw, what was it? Christian Hanley says, I think Fender Custom Shop offered a 12-string telly in the 90s. I think. 90s are a little blurry for me. Join the club. Yes. 90s are a little blurry.
Yeah, but anything Fender Custom Shops, $4,000. $4,000 and it needs a Plec. Which, don't get me wrong, they're fantastic guitars. People who have those guitars, like, that's an achievement, right? When you get to that level, like, I'm going to get a Fender Custom Shop. You deserve it. Like, if you spent that money, but a lot of times they need a Plec. Like, the fretwork's not always perfect, right? I always tell my friends, like, just think of that extra $300 or whatever that is. Just incorporate that because you won't be disappointed. You know, $5,000 custom shop Gibson, same deal. I just did one for my buddy. You ever heard of the band Toad the Wet Sprocket?
I have.
That's my buddy Todd Nichols plays guitar for them.
Yep.
So good. He writes so many riffs that just like are the amazing riffs. Anyway, we became friends through the fact that I got a Plec, and I was like, you're going on tour, let's plec these guitars. And he brought up this crazy, nice, beautiful Gibson custom shop acoustic that was jacked. It needed a Plec. But after the Plec, it was perfect. So $300, you're good to go.
Sure. Which, again, yeah, if you're going to spend $5,000, an extra $300 just to make it perfect, whatever.
Yeah. Right. You know, and even though some of these go through a Plec machine at the factory, from what I understand, and I could be corrected, but from what I understand, it's kind of like they have the Plec set up. All right, we're doing Les Pauls today, fellas. We're banging them all through. They all get 10s, right? Everybody wants this much relief. And so it's not dialed for you. Like if I'm plecking your guitar, I want to know you play 9s on this telly. This telly, you like your action like stupid low, or you maybe like a little bit higher because you're a big spanker. But we're going to program all that in, and the Plec will tell us where your relief curve needs to be. So you can really dial. That's why some people, when they get their guitar back, they're like, "What have you done?" Oh, we are the genies of the guitar world. We put it in and go clickety clack. It's like the person handing over the shake at McDonald's. Oh yeah, no, this thing. Oh God, I worked hard on this. Here you go. I hope you like it. But the setups, yes. I mean, it wouldn't be just with the Plec. We do the setups. We there's a lot of that goes in. We've been doing it for years and years. You know.
Yeah. It's all parts of the puzzle.
Yeah, but the Plec is the way. That's because you blow out your shoulder. The owner of SF Guitar Works, like he jacked his whole body just doing fretwork for too many years.
Oh, I believe it. I don't even like polishing frets anymore. I get fatigued just from polishing frets.
You guys
up, Dwight Dremel? No, I just use fret erasers by hand.
Yeah, I got this little.
What's up, Patrick?
I got a little Dremel unit that I just go. It's it's right here.
I would, but Charles doesn't like me using power tools on my guitars for some reason. He says it scares him. I don't know.
I've destroyed so many. You know, that's why pretty much anything Pressley Customs, it's customized as B stock because I probably screwed something up. But that's what makes it good because it's like it's real. It's not. I don't know. It's real.
It is real. Hey,
Yeah.
Boner Jams in the house. Good to see you. Monk says, I was reading about the Plex, super cool. I installed and serviced CNC machine, so I was really digging it. Yeah, they are very cool. They are very
Totally.
cool.
Totally. CNC is the way to go too, though. I think if you're making a ton of bodies and you're really like,
Yeah, well, or even necks, because you can do 99% of the work on a CNC for a neck now. So it's literally just finish sanding.
wow, and then pop
They're,
it in the frets, put it in
yeah,
the Plex, you're good to go.
yeah, like because it's gotten like the CNCs, you know, they've got so good on their tolerances, they're down to almost like metalwork tolerances with wood. So they can get
That's why I want to go up there to Colorado and meet those guys because they work closely with that other guy that's Maximum. I think it's Maximum Guitar Works, right? I think it is. It's all right. He's got all the. I saw a tour of his shop, and I was like, dude, I used to work at DreamWorks Animation. Like they have all the toys. I saw his shop, and I was like, that is the DreamWorks Animation of guitars. Like he has everywhere you look, it's not only the best of the best, but it's the best of the best. It's cleaned and polished and like the way that you would want to leave it if you were going to show it to, you know. Yeah, I want to go check that place for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so Ferd Burfel has a Hawaiian pizza in the oven now. That's fine. Apparently it's all pizza tonight. That's fine.
Yeah, I got to do something for dinner. I went to that doggy festival, outdoor festival, and had a couple of beers to start. And, now it's time. I had a little burrito along the way. But what are you doing for dinner?
Oh, I had Kraft dinner for dinner. Mac and cheese.
Oh, so you already got it covered.
Oh, yeah. Big old plate of mac and cheese. Because Dad's always down for that. It was good for me. Andy Rex the Cam said, are you an amp tech, Ben? Are you working on your own design, valve amp or preamp maybe? You must have some ideas of your own knowing circuits. No, I'm not that good with amps. I know what I like. I'm one of those weird guys, like I'll show up to someone that has the knowledge of it. I'm like, this is what I want, and blah, blah. And they're like, well, I can either not do it or it's going to cost you all the money in the world because what you're asking for, I have to build like 4 amps in one.
Right. Do you have a Mesa?
I have a Mesa family kind of thing. I have a B52 AT112, which is like a poor man's Mesa.
Yeah, that's. I've got the other poor man's Mesa. I've got the Nomad 50-watt head, which was kind of a gift from a friend. Check out this sparkle, dude.
Oh, wow. Holy crap on a cracker. Look at this. I do like those blackout pickups on a Blackguard on a Strat. I don't know why.
Big brass block.
Nice.
The only problem with this guitar, it will break your back. It's probably 9 pounds, 8.5, 9 pounds. Oof. So this needs a young user. Some kid plays freaking, I don't know, what is, one of those games where you're strong. I was a surfer. You didn't need to be strong to be a surfer.
Well, you need a good core. You got to have core for surfing.
Core, yes. But so I used to surf against these guys, right? That would go and work out and they were always juiced, like jacked up. They were buff. They would gas themselves, like, because you have to paddle a lot, right? And in a contest, you're under a timer. It's a heat, and these guys would they would be gassed in the first. So I would just always try to be lean and kind of strong, but I've been a pudgy guy my whole life. But what are you gonna do? Roll with it. Exactly. It ended up being good for. So I stopped surfing after it got crazy and too busy and popular. I started hang gliding, and that was where like the weight is helpful to you. When you're moving the wing around. Sure. That was way better than surfing. It's like more intense. It's cooler, and people didn't bother you. Like they weren't right around you. So it's like, leave me alone. I'm hang gliding.
Sure.
Definitely an ADD sport, man. It's like. And same thing with guitar, like, right? All you guys know when you're plugging in your pedal board and you're thinking about this and this and this and this and this, or you're doing your setup, it's all about once you have those connections, right? You have this feeling of, I feel complete now. Now I can jam. That's just a really same thing. Building the guitar.
Good night, Sam. Man, it's got to head out. And I think last I heard it was 87 subs you're up to now.
What? I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, man. So anything new in the house? What do you got coming down the pipe? You got some reviews coming our way? Have we got some soda coming?
I do. We've got some Canadian content. Come on, be nice. Our friends over at Radial Engineering, I'm going to demo this Radial North Star, part of the Tone Bone series.
Oh, yeah.
I actually tried it in the store before buying it. And I went, okay, decent. And then I put it through my rig and I went, oh, this is going on and staying on my board for a while. I'm just saying. So I'm looking forward to putting out a demo for it. I want to actually write a piece of music for it, though. So,
dude, you need
Pete's
to know
inspired me in
that, like, I'm thankful because I'm the guy that doesn't post a lot, and you post a lot, and I know it takes a lot of effort to just to do it and get it done, and it's super entertaining for me, and like I'll watch it before work or whatever, and it's just a moment where I get to unwind, right? And I'm sure you get the emails, people telling you, but I'm very thankful for just like the little videos and you know, even if it's completely uneducational, like my videos. It's fun to check in, right?
Yep. Exactly. Apparently you're up to 90 subs.
We're gonna have to slow this down, y'all.
We need 10 more subs, folks.
Does that mean that my mom unsubscribed again? Damn it.
Well, she must have resubscribed. You're up to 91 now.
Oh, nice. Okay, geez. All right, she's back on board. Maybe she liked the content this week. Actually, I haven't posted in a while. So, dude, I'm like in between. I sold my condo. We're finishing up a house. Once I get my house built in a month or so, the content will be coming much more often. The participation, hopefully, like dropping in occasionally with the update of what's going on here in California on the street is definitely something I'd be looking forward to doing a lot more often.
Awesome. Ray Van Zee says, just make a video of you working on a guitar.
Yeah, and you guys are going to see me screwing it up, right? Oh, I know. I guess that's what everybody wants to see. It's so true, right? So a friend was telling me earlier today, was like, just turn the cameras on, dude. And that's what you do, Ben. That's why I'm giving you props.
Yep.
Just turn the cameras on and just be
minimal
myself.
Editing. The only edit you'll see is if I have to leave to grab something, you know? And even then, I don't always edit that out. Sometimes I'll just let the camera run for a minute and a half. We'll fix it in post, and then we don't.
We'll fix it in post, and then it just goes out, right? I'm so bad at post, right? What is even post? Post is like send it to a real editor, because if I'm doing something with it, I'm just going to probably delete the good part by accident, because I'm like, what part do I delete? The green part or the other part? I don't know. You know, whatever.
Yeah, like one time I said something wrong in a video, so I tried to put the writing on the screen, a closed caption saying the correct thing, and that stayed up the entire video. And I'm like, well, we're not doing that again.
It became the caption for the whole video.
Yeah. I got to take some lessons from Charles. He's got like voiceovers and closed captions and picture-in-picture. And
one of the things I miss about working at Guitar Works every day was interacting with the customers and seeing their guitars that they would bring in for service. This is a guitar that I built after seeing a customer's guitar, and I was like, Shoreline Gold with the tortoise guard, and it was EMG pickups, not Bartolini's, but he had white EMGs and gold hardware. I was like, actually, I think we did the conversion over to the gold hardware for him as part of what we were doing, and had a rosewood board. I was like, I'm going to build one of those. So
I like that combo with the pickguard and that color body.
Right? And the white looks pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a good taste for aesthetics. I'm going to say that right now. You have a good color palette.
Thank you, man. I just stole it from somebody who had, I was like, yeah, good idea. I think.
But you were smart enough to retain that. Exactly.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So this one, have you ever heard of Alan Eden?
No.
Alan Eden. They're a guitar supplier, parts
Okay.
supplier from Los Angeles area. Alan Eden, you can find them on Reverb. You can find them online. They do, I'm going to say the word wrong, but it's Paulinia bodies.
Okay.
Super light. Like this guitar, probably 5.5 pounds.
Oh,
maybe.
Perfect.
Right? Like
perfect for playing those 4-set gigs.
Right. As opposed to that other blue one that you could hold for one song and then you'd be so mad.
That's the blue one's the encore guitar. That's the encore guitar.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's the one because you want to throw it out to somebody in the crowd because you never have to hold it again.
And they throw it back. That. Nope, too heavy. Nope.
It's just freaking heavy. And I broke my back crashing a hang glider in my 20s. So I have to be kind of cognizant about what kind of pressure I put my back under. But that's what you get for hang gliding. So, although I highly recommend people to try hang gliding at least once.
I would not fare well because I'm terrified of heights.
Then I would probably say don't. Like I would say I would not want to go to a snake petting zoo.
Right. I'm okay. List. I'm okay on airplanes because I understand physics.
Right.
It's weird that way, you know. I can have a window seat, no problem, because I understand physics and flight. I understand that, but if it's left up to me as the variable, no, that's crash and burn.
Not doing it. I'm pretty sure we could shove you off the hill as long as you had a radio in your ear and you'd make it down just fine. It's people that don't tune in because you play guitar on stage. You've had those moments where you're doing something and the guy that's doing the lights is just like, oh, well, Ben doesn't need lights right now, I don't think, to do this. He's doing a solo part, but let's just cut all the lights. And you make it through those moments. I have no doubt in my mind you'd be fine hang gliding.
They always shone the blues on you when you played a rosewood fretboard. If you're playing a maple fretboard, you're lit up like Vegas. But if you're playing a dark fretboard, that's when they would cut the lights too. You're like, come on, I see nothing.
Oh, totally. I grew up as a drummer in the Bay Area in a heavy metal band called Unjust. You could look them up there. They're like thrash. The thing back then to sell more drinks was they would actually, on the night when it wasn't packed, they would turn the heaters on in the club. Mm-hmm. And you have hot-ass club, and then they put them up on stage, and then the drum riser's up another 2 feet. And so you're up there, and you're just under these extreme conditions, and then the guy doing the lights decides that he's going to get tricky with you, you know? Anyway, that was a good time, right? Playing on stage.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
It's like a lightning bolt to the nether region when someone goes, woohoo!
Well, and there's that thing, like no matter how many band members, but when you're firing on all cylinders, you might as well have a 10-piece band because it's so full and perfect, and you're like, this is why I do this.
Totally. Except for when you're splitting up the pay among a 10-piece band.
That's true. Then you're like, we need backing tracks.
Right. So I use a pedal called the Trio pedal, and I've actually performed live with it, the Digitech Trio. And I did a show at a local club it was a bunch of people there. It was a pretty good show. And I show up to get paid, and the other band, they were the Mother Hips. They're kind of popular. They're like 8-piece band. And they come up with the paychecks. They were the middle people, so they probably had a bigger cut, but I had my opening cut. And they hand it over, and I'm like, "Ooh, $227! Hell yeah!" And they were like, "Oh, $325. Okay, well, here's $11. Here's $11. Yeah. This Trio pedal's paying off, But it's good to have friends too. The Trio pedal, you don't have friends.
We got Doug Strong in the chat, and Charles75N asks, "How do I buy a Pressley California custom guitar?"
You can go on Reverb, right? I like Reverb, although you pay a little bit more fees. I end up paying more of the fees than the purchaser does, but they'll protect it. Mm-hmm. I ship it out really well. It comes in the case, but if it arrives and something's wrong, then usually they'll at least pay for a local setup, or they'll pay to ship it back, and I take 100% refund. Like, dude, bring that thing back. I don't want a messed up guitar out there. So Reverb, my number one resource right now, even though it costs me 10% right off the top after I did all my stuff trying to save the money and make it at a lower price. But you know what? We'll get there. Eventually, I'll be at the point where this little store will be local people coming in doing the rotators, and the people buying them on Reverb will be lucky that they got one on Reverb, right?
Exactly.
But you could call me. Like, my phone number is not secret. If you look me up on Facebook, I am on Facebook. You can literally look me up and call me or text me, because that's how most people that really buy guitars call you.
That's right.
Yep, because they want to talk about stuff, and usually I'm just telling them the stuff that what I can and can't do, because some people have these higher expectations that really high-end builders can do everything, you know. I want a flame maple neck with blibbity blah doobity doo. Well, you know, you're going to be $4,000 deep, you know. Pressley Custom is like, I grew up poor. I grew up in kind of the ghetto in just north of Oakland, and like we had everything we ever could possibly need, but it was like because we made what we had, right? We didn't. So I never have been one to have the high end thing. So I don't want to even produce that, dude. I want to produce like the $1,000, $2,000 maybe, like the top end when I am doing flame maple and roasted and all that. It should be hopefully like $2,000, $2,200. Because I'm not trying to get rich. Need to keep gas in the Geo Metro. That's about it.
Exactly. We don't have huge goals in life. We just
want to build guitars.
Exactly. What's up, Addicted to Gear?
Whoa, what up, Tony? We were hanging out earlier. That's a great Sunday morning place. I wake up, do my coffee, hang out there, dude. There's such a good community there, chit-chatting about all the stuff. And
I always missed it. I'm always busy on Sunday mornings for some reason.
Well, you got Dad, so that's.
I do. I'll catch the replay quite often. But
totally. And then he did.
That's definitely what I'm catching up on prior to Pete Thorne each week. So.
Oh yeah. Well, Tony did a recent thing where he swapped over. We were just talking about Vega trim earlier. He swapped on a super inexpensive Kramer Beretta, right? But it's a good playing guitar with a good neck, and it's, you know, the body's pretty light, and I think he already had a pretty killer pickup in there, so he puts a Vega trim on it and some killer, you know, tuning pegs, and boom, you're done. And so if he needed to, he could dress the frets or whatever. He's custom shop, you know, done. So that's a great thing to show people. That's kind of something like that you don't have to have $4,000 to have a killer guitar.
That's right. For years, I gigged with a J Tercer Les Paul, which I still play. Demo on the channel, folks. But I taped over the logo, and it wasn't because I was embarrassed to play, but because I played so many multi-band shows. You know, if you're hanging out backstage and say, you know, we meet up, Seth, and I can tell you're into gear. You know, you're not just, these are the tools I use, but you're into gear. I'm like, here, play this. And you go, oh, this thing plays amazing. I'm like, yeah. You know, what is it? J Tercer. No. I was like, yeah, that guitar retailed for 175 Canadian.
I love it.
Never had a problem with it. It's never even broke a string. It's like,
and I've had people bring me $5,000 custom, and mind you, they're badass. They're really nice, but they're custom guitars that have a major issue. That was like, and they're upset over it. And it's like, well, you know what? You're only going to spend a couple $100 to fix it. Let's not be upset. Don't let that amount, you know, sometimes working in the guitar shop was kind of being a little bit of a emotional advisor, you know, because people get really, I mean, I'd be pissed off too, but I rarely spend $1,000 on something that arrived and it was just out of the box, completely not, it's not very often that happened. I don't want to throw any manufacturers under the bus because I think that a lot of manufacturers get beat up. Gibson gets beat up all the time, and they're great. They're good, dude. I mean, they need a plaque, but they're good. Like,
yep. And I will say, it's funny you mention that. When it comes to Les Pauls, you know, I'll play them, and I'm like, yeah, you know, they're real. You know, every time I think they're pretty good, and I think the same thing. Honestly, Tellys and Strats. Every time I play a production one, yeah, it's pretty good, but I'm never blown away. And then look, I picked up a Les Paul about a month ago, And I was like, wow, this is really not like it's playing well. And I couldn't figure out why. And I looked, well, it's a custom shop 58 R8. And I went, oh,
there you go.
but yet there was nothing I could point out that made it different than any other Les Paul, but there was some intangible, and unknowingly, because I didn't know it was a custom shop when I picked it up. And I was just like, huh. And so, but there was just something about it that it was just better. Oh.
Those Murphys are so good. The Murphy Labs, their aging is killer. They sound killer. Those are one of the ones when I get them on the bench, you're like, this is gonna go well, because like the intonation's on, and you don't have to do a ton, especially after it's out of the Plexi machine. The relief is set perfectly. The action, as long as you just dial it in perfectly, you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Symmetry says, is Plexi the AI of guitar setup? No, because you have to program a Plexi machine. Now, if the Plexi machine on its own figured out everything, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is the number one thing that the Plexi, when you're interacting as a human with it, that it really teaches you, because I worked with it every day for years, is that it teaches you when you're making a truss rod adjustment about in your mind, because you're all day you're doing an adjustment, looking at a scan on a computer screen for what that adjustment did. And you get the sense of when you're turning it, and you can feel it actually how much you're turning the neck. And then the way that we check relief, just the way that at the shop, would be fret the first fret, fret the 12th fret. Some people like to do it at the end of the neck. The ultimate leader of Guitar Works has told me, first fret, 12th fret, check at the 6th, right? And on most electrics, like a Strat or Tele, you're going for around 6,000 relief. And the Plexi will just measure that perfectly, and you dial it until you get it perfectly right. And then you set the cut of how much you're going to take out of the high frets to level everything up.
Exactly. Yeah, I usually measure right around the body joint. But that's usually 12th to 14th, in around there, right?
Yeah. I mean, he always just said that from the
and that just comes from acoustics, right? Because acoustics, all your relief is at from the body joint to the nut.
From the body joint on, right? And then a lot of acoustic will have fall away in the neck from there.
Which is to compensate for wanting to fold in half at some point in life, or the belly
exactly. For its inevitable fold in half. Hey, have you seen the acoustic guitars that are a travel guitar where they've got this big thing in the back that unscrews and then the neck pops out? Oh my God, that thing, they sound really good. Like, when they're together, and they sound unlike a regular travel guitar that's a little bit smaller, or kind of like it has. I think they're pretty expensive. We plucked one and did some repair work for a guy that had one, but I was like supremely impressed by it. It was really nice, almost worth $1,500 or whatever he spent. It was a lot.
Nice.
More than what I'm doing for a travel guitar. You'd probably do it too. Take the freaking neck off your Strat and just take it with you. Bring a screwdriver. Travel guitar. Done.
Yeah, done. We'll do one more question here. How about Richard Nagamitsu? Seth, what are some of the most messed up or bizarre guitars that you've had or seen come into the shop?
Ooh, okay. Some of the most messed up guitars, and the ones that are the most difficult to work on, are the Taiscos and the ones that were made in Japan a long, long time ago, 50 years ago, to look like a American guitar.
Right.
Okay. They're cool. They are cool. They're vintage. They are vintage. They're awesome. They look awesome. The problem is that they were never designed to be repaired and to be. They weren't designed to have a longevity. So what happens is that they start just deteriorating. And so those were some of the most basket case guitars that you try to fix one thing and the next thing falls apart. You know, by the time you're done with something on the headstock, you look down and you're like, oh my God, everything fell apart down here. What do I do? So oftentimes in those instances, I if it's a heirloom or whatever, I'll advise just, let's just make it pretty, and then buy a guitar you can play. Let's try to make this thing playable, because you're just kind of fighting an uphill battle. So, there was one that was actually a friend's guitar that was on stage. It was an acoustic Gretsch. It was a 60s Gretsch. It was set down on the stage on its face, and somebody stepped through the back of the guitar. And their foot went completely through the back of the acoustic. It was one of the worst sounds that I wasn't there, but that I had heard it had ever been made. And we repaired that. It was about $2,500. I didn't really have any part in it because I'm not into like the woodworking like those guys are. But that was probably the most jacked up. We can fix anything though, for sure.
It's nice that they were able to fix it. That's for sure. Well, let's see. We got Charles putting the link in. Good. Everyone should definitely check out Seth's channel. This has been an amazing hang. We're going to do another one. We will do a part 2.
Ben. We got too many people. It's so many people already. I know I'm going to have to go home and answer all of these and say thank you. I just appreciate you so much, dude. You're the man.
Hey, I just do what I can. That's what I do. And we had a great crowd tonight. We had a lot of great questions tonight.
Totally. The community is awesome.
It is. You missed that question earlier, Trev. He's like, still waiting for an Explorer-shaped object. Well, you wait. We talked about it earlier. Check. Rewind.
It will be coming down the line. Trust me, when I get in my new house and I get some... So right now, funds are appropriated towards building a place to live. And then once that's livable, then I can appropriate some funds into buying tons and tons of guitar parts, to where when I come down here to the store, I've got just, stuff to build, and I can invite my friends to come on down. I'm a secondary workbench here. You can plug right in. You're building whatever you want to build. So that's what we're doing here at Pressley Customs, dude. I can't wait to hang out with you guys.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, sup, Dave Chase. I saw you in here earlier. Hip Metalworks, Ben Allmark. Yeah, just hold the line, Seth, while we wrap things up here. We'll be back tomorrow night with Terry and Trev for Canucks with Guitars live Q&A. Soda pop tasting this week. Don't know. Haven't shot it yet. I'm not that thirsty yet. Once I get thirsty, that's a part of tomorrow plan. And you can always tell. Here's your Easter egg, folks. You can always tell when I shoot a soda pop tasting on a Sunday or a Monday, because I will be holding a beverage with a piece of masking tape over the label, so you don't know what I'm drinking.
Right.
So,
perfect.
Keep an eye on that, folks. So, as always, thanks everyone that tuned in. Thanks to the Mod Squad. Charles, what's the final tally on the subs we count for Seth? We'll wait on that as we wrap things up. He'll type it in the chat. I think 95, maybe even 97 we're at.
That is far beyond what I'd ever thought I'd have achieved.
We need to get him to 100, folks. I'm just saying.
That's crazy. Dude,
let's get him to triple dip. So yeah. Well, as always, folks, hold those doors open. Let Seth in ahead of you in traffic. The Geo needs to get there. It's
underpowered.
It's underpowered. Draft him, even. Don't bump draft though.
Right. You got to get in the draft.
Yeah. So. Hold those doors open. Let them in ahead of you in traffic. Do great things, because, my cousin Doug's wife is real. Oh, yeah, up to 97. Perfect. Let's get 3 more, folks. And as always, be good to each other. Happy tone chasing. And have a great night. And be well and all that fun stuff.